You open your mouth and she closes. Not her eyes, not her arms, her entire being. She becomes small, distant, cold. She says, "I'm fine," in that voice that means she is anything but fine. She says, "Not now," in that tone that means not ever. She says, "Can we talk about this later?" And later never comes. You have tried everything: the soft approach, the direct approach, the written letter, the text message, the "we need to talk," that turns into "you need to stop talking." And every time you feel like a failure, like a man who cannot even communicate with his own wife, like a beggar who cannot even ask without being shut down. I have sat with thousands of men who feel exactly what you feel. And I have sat with thousands of women who shut down exactly the way she shuts down. And I can tell you exactly what is happening. It is not what you are saying. It is what she is hearing. And what she is hearing is not a conversation. It is an attack. It is a demand. It is a reminder that she is failing, that she is not enough, that she is the problem. And when she feels like the problem, she cannot be the solution. She can only disappear. Today, I am going to give you 5 phrases. Not scripts, not lines, not tricks. Phrases that change the energy. Phrases that remove the attack. Phrases that make her feel safe enough to open up instead of shut down. Phrases that happy couples use every single day. And when you use them, everything changes. Not because you said magic words, because you became safe. So listen, this is not about manipulation. This is about translation, about learning to speak her language instead of demanding that she speak yours. If you are ready to stop being shut down and start being heard, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Next week, I am breaking down the exact energy that makes her want to tell you everything. You do not want to miss it. Phrase 1, I feel distant from you and I miss us. Not, we never talk anymore. Not, you are always on your phone. Not, you don't seem interested in me. Those are accusations. Those are attacks. Those make her the problem. I feel distant from you, and I miss us, makes the distance the problem. It makes the connection the goal. It makes both of you the solution. It is vulnerable without being needy. It is honest without being blaming. It invites her into your feeling instead of cornering her with her failure. And that invitation, that vulnerability, that shared problem is what makes her feel safe enough to respond. Because she is not being evaluated. She is being invited. She is not being told she is wrong. She is being told that something is missing that she might also miss. And that us is the key. Not you, not me. Us, the relationship, the connection, the thing you both care about. When you frame it as us, she is no longer the villain. She is your teammate. And teammates solve problems together. Villains just defend themselves. Phrase 2, what do you need from me right now? Not, what's wrong? Not, why are you upset? Not, what did I do? Those are demands for explanation. Those put pressure on her to perform her emotions for you, to translate her inner world into words that you can understand. And that translation is exhausting, especially when she does not feel safe, especially when she feels like her words will be used against her. What do you need from me right now is different. It is a gift. It is an offering. It is a recognition that she has needs and you are willing to meet them, without judgment, without defense, without turning it into a conversation about you. It shifts the focus from her problem to your presence, from what she is doing wrong to what you can do right. And that shift, that tiny shift from evaluation to support, is what makes her feel safe enough to tell you, because she is not being interrogated. She is being cared for. She is not being asked to explain herself. She is being asked to receive. And receiving is only possible when giving feels safe. Phrase 3, I was thinking about you today. Not, why didn't you text me? Not, I never hear from you anymore. Not, do you even think about me? Those are needy. Those are demanding. Those are pressure dressed as conversation. I was thinking about you today is a gift with no strings. It is an expression of care without expectation. It is a reminder that she lives in your mind without asking her to live in your presence. It creates connection without demand. It creates intimacy without pressure. It creates the feeling that she is wanted, not needed. And wanted is only sexy when need is absent. When you say, I was thinking about you today, you are not asking for anything. You are giving something, a thought, a feeling, a moment of your attention that she did not have to earn. And that gift, that unsolicited care, that unexpected connection is what makes her feel valued. Not because you asked for something, because you gave something. And giving without strings is the rarest thing in modern relationships. Because most people give to get, and she can feel the difference. Her nervous system can feel the difference between a gift and a transaction, between care and need, between love and hunger. Phrase 4, help me understand what you're feeling. Not, why are you doing this? Not, what's your problem? Not, can you just explain yourself? Those are confrontational. Those put her on the defensive. Those demand that she perform her emotions in a way that makes sense to you. Help me understand what you're feeling is humble. It is vulnerable. It is an admission that you do not know, that you cannot read her mind, that you need her help to see her world. And that humility, that willingness to be taught, that openness to her experience is what makes her feel safe enough to share. Because she is not being demanded. She is being invited. She is not being expected to perform. She is being asked to teach. And teaching is only possible when the student is willing to learn. When you say, help me understand, you are becoming the student. You are putting yourself in her hands. You are giving her the power to guide you into her world. And that power, that control, that safety of being the one who knows and shares instead of the one who is being evaluated and judged is what opens her up. Because she is no longer the problem. She is the expert. She is no longer failing. She is teaching. And teaching feels good. Teaching feels safe. Teaching feels like connection instead of confrontation. Let me ask you something that will sting. When was the last time you asked her to teach you instead of demanding that she explain herself? Drop the word teach in the comments if you are starting to see the difference. I want to know how many of us have been demanding when we should have been learning. Phrase 5, I'm sorry I made you feel unsafe. Not, I'm sorry you feel that way. Not, I'm sorry if I hurt you. Not, I'm sorry but, those are not apologies. Those are defenses. Those are ways of saying your feelings are wrong while pretending to take responsibility. I'm sorry I made you feel unsafe is ownership. It is acknowledgement. It is recognition that your actions, your words, your energy created a feeling in her that you did not intend, but that you are responsible for anyway. Because impact matters more than intention. Because her feeling unsafe is real, even if you did not mean to make her feel that way. And when you own that, when you acknowledge that, when you take responsibility for the impact of your presence, you become safe, you become trustworthy, you become the man who can be wrong and still be loved. And that ability, that willingness to own your impact without defending your intention, is the rarest thing in relationships. Because most men defend, most men explain, most men say, that's not what I meant. And in doing so, they tell her that her feelings are wrong, that her experience is invalid, that her safety is less important than their ego, and that is why she shuts down. Because she learns that telling you how she feels is dangerous, that her honesty will be met with defense, that her vulnerability will be met with argument. And so she stops, she closes, she disappears. And you wonder why she won't talk to you. It is because you taught her that talking to you is not safe. The daily practice. Use them before you need them. These phrases are not for crisis. They are not for the moment when everything is falling apart. They are for the daily moments, the small moments, the moments when nothing is wrong, the moments when connection is possible, the moments when you can build the foundation before the storm hits. Happy couples do not wait until there is a problem to communicate. They communicate every day. They use these phrases when things are good, when the connection is strong, when the wall is not up, because that is when they land. That is when they build credit. That is when they create the safety that makes the hard conversations possible. If you only use these phrases when she is already shut down, they will feel like manipulation, like tricks, like last-ditch efforts to get what you want. But if you use them every day, when things are calm, when things are good, when things are easy, they become who you are. They become your language. They become the way you relate. And when the hard moment comes, when the wall starts to go up, when the shutdown begins, she will remember. She will remember that you are safe, that you are consistent, that you are the man who speaks her language instead of demanding that she speak yours. And that memory, that foundation, that daily practice of safety is what makes her stay open, even when it is hard, even when she is tired, even when she wants to close. Because she knows that you are different, that you are safe, that you are worth the risk of being seen. So what do you do with this? You stop demanding, you stop accusing, you stop evaluating, you stop making her the problem. You start using these phrases every day, not as tricks, as translation, as a way of speaking her language, as a way of becoming safe. You start saying, I feel distant from you and I miss us. You start asking, what do you need from me right now? You start telling her, I was thinking about you today. You start asking her to help me understand what you're feeling. You start owning your impact with, I'm sorry I made you feel unsafe. You start practicing these phrases when things are good, when the connection is strong, when the wall is down. You start building the foundation. You start creating the safety. You start becoming the man she feels safe opening up to. Not because you said magic words, because you became safe, because you became whole, because you became the man who does not need her to perform her emotions for him, the man who just wants to understand, the man who just wants to connect, the man who just wants to be close. And that man is the only man she will ever open up to. If this hit you in the chest, hit that like button so more men who need this can find it. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to keep getting the truth that most people are too scared to say. Drop a comment below with the word open if you are ready to stop shutting her down and start opening her up. And if you know a man who cannot get his wife to talk to him, send this to him. He deserves to know that the problem is not her walls, it is his words. Until next time, stop demanding, start translating. This is Mind of Connection. I will see you soon.